Webcams have gotten really hot again, and we got one company who's introducing a new webcam that's really worth taking a look at. This is Yololiv's YoloCam S3. In the box, you're going to get the YoloCam S3, a USB-C cable, and a magnetic mount. Now the camera's really interesting because it's magnetic on all sides, so you can actually mount it to become a vertical camera on the magnetic mount, or you can do it horizontally like we're going to be doing during this video. Now there is no 1/4" thread on the camera itself, but there is one on the mount, so you can put it on top of a tripod or an arm or anything like that. Now I don't think we should waste any more time without looking at this camera, so let's get it up. And here's what we're looking at out of the box. So overall, a really clean picture. Color accuracy is actually really nice right now. Like, I actually have color on my face. I usually find myself very desaturated when you get a camera out of the box, so that's really good. I'm noticing a little bit of jitter. Not a lot when you're just sitting here and talking, but as I start to move around, you can see that kind of joltiness. Editor Joe here, no problems at all with the jitter. It was just what I was actually seeing in my OBS. It just, for whatever reason, the preview on there was just kind of reading it weird. I don't know what that was, but I tried it out. I'm actually on Meld Studio right now, and it looks perfectly good. Of course, I didn't know that in the moment as I was doing this video, but just wanted to do that as a correction. So look at this is what it looks like normal. Everything's good. Hey, great job. Now, I did experience much worse. I had this plugged into a USB 2 and I thought it was in a USB 3 port, and it just flat out went haywire. Now, they do warn you to actually plug it into the correct port, so not their fault. It was just one of those, oh my God, I think I got a broken unit. So if you do experience that, first thing you should be checking is to make sure that you're plugged into a USB 3.0 port. Now, while the picture is good out of the box, we can probably make it that much better. If we go into Yololiv Compose, that's their app that actually controls this camera. And here we are inside of the app right now. This is the live picture that is on the application instead of just having the webcam go onto OBS, so we can see everything as it happens live. If we go up the side here, so we'll see some image parameters. You'd be able to switch between cameras if you had multiples, but let's go into the graphics settings. So right now it's just whether or not you're doing 16:9, 19:6. Frame rate, we can set to a 60 frames a second. Looks good. Image settings. So these are the kind of basic generic ones that I usually don't want to mess with, because if I go too sharp, they start to look really old, and we don't want to have that conversation yet. I'm not ready to face my mortality. Contrast, obviously. These kinds of things. And you have your saturation, and you have this setting, the DR setting. I don't actually even really know what it is. So what I'm going to do, it says it only works with manual exposure. So manual exposure is on. So if I mess with this, it should do something. There you go. Oh, there, it's the dynamic range. So instead of saying HDR, it's just saying DR. So you can get a little bit more light back there if you wanted. You can go a little bit darker. Let's go around here. That's fine. Focus, so you can turn on different types of focus. There isn't a manual focus though, which I find a little bit weird, but that's okay. So right now we're on autofocus on the face. So if it loses the face, you'll see it will probably start to search a little bit more. And then you have this autofocus where you can select your target wherever you want, and it'll stay focused on that, whatever's in there. So let's just say I wanted to hold up a product or something like that, and then I go like this, hey, what are you doing? And we select it. It takes a little bit of time, but you can see that it does that. It's actually a really nice effect with the bokeh with me in the background there. It looks good. And then you just have your autofocus center, whatever center of focus. So again, if we bring this up, it should do it pretty quickly. So it's actually a better version than the select, unless you're trying to get something really specific. It's not a hyper fast autofocus, but it's a really accurate one. Like, it doesn't do a lot of this way, then this way, then this way. It takes a thoughtful second, then does it right. So your zoom, so you can do a zoom in here. You can, oh my Lord. But look at the detail, even zoomed all the way in like this, you can see how hideous my pores are. I'm gonna say that for all of the hyper zoomed in cameras that I've tried out, this is probably the best one in terms of detail though. Like, you can see individual hairs in the eyebrow, like the detail in my eyes is fantastic. You can see where I sort of missed shaving. I really, really respect this. And you can see underneath there's hotkey settings. So if you wanted to have hotkeys on your computer, or you can use a Stream Deck or whatever, let's zoom out because we should probably not have this conversation like this. There we go. But if you wanted to have a situation where you wanted to be able to punch in really quick, you could do that. So you could set a zoom setting, hit that one button, and then have it come in really nice and tight, hit another button, have it come back out. So a very good little tool for streamers and things like that. So the AI parameter, I'm actually curious to try this out before we get into the other parameters here. So what this is supposed to do, it's actually supposed to kind of like auto-tune for you based on some preferences. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit start. I'm going to do this in live time. There, so it's going to be working. I'm going to just over here. Hi, how's it going? Let's speed this part up. There, so you see what it did is it came up with a few different exposure settings based on what it deemed acceptable and then what was your preference and things like that. I'm going to take a little bit of the light off myself. I'm going to select the one over here and see what it does. I'm going to go to confirm, and then it's going to do everything else based off of this. And we'll speed it back up again. Oh, and now you can see it caught me at a really bad moment for a white balance. So you can see the one on the right now is quite blue. So we're going to go with the ones on either the left or the center. And I'm going to go a little bit more left. It's a little bit warmer, but still being accurate. So we're going to select that. And this is what it came up with. So I actually am really happy with this. It's very minor changes, but I mean, for the most part, if you have a good webcam, you don't need to be doing a lot of like hyper changes unless you're trying to find a really specific style. So I'm happy to go with this as it is, but we're still going to go with the other things just so you can see what they do. Exposure right off the bat. So you can set an auto exposure or a manual exposure. I'm going to mess around with the ISO here. You can click on these and they will make their adjustments, or you can click the arrows here and just go through them that way. That feels a little bit more intuitive to use these, to be honest. Okay, that's a little low, so I'm going to go to this. And that one was good. And then your shutter speed. So you want it at 1/60 if you're doing 60 frames a second, but you can go through other options and then you can see how that is impacting you. And then you'd have to change the ISO to kind of meet up with it. Just go back down to here, and I think that we're happy. White balance. So you do have a manual white balance that you can do, or you can do an auto white balance. I usually hate the auto. It's not bad. I think it's because we did the other settings that it's good, but if you go into your manual, you can see the kind of things that you can do here and why they're good or why they're bad. Like, who's using this? What are you compensating for that you need to go full yellow? I can't read what that says, so let's just see what it does. Oh, good news. It doesn't do anything. It might be for very specific scenarios, but it doesn't appear to be having any impact on me. Then you have your blue offset and your red offset, and then you have a little color corrector here, so you can actually make changes to your offsets based on that. And lastly, you have your audio settings. And so this is actually for the microphone on the camera. Again, I don't use these, but if you are somebody who, if you're just using this for like Zoom calls or something, I wouldn't recommend that. But if you are, this is where you would go about like setting volume, setting where your noise reduction is, any de-reverberation. So if you've got a lot of, hard walls, hard floors around you and stuff like that, this is going to help compensate for that a little bit. And audio latency. So if you are finding that you're a little bit out of sync, you can mess with that through here as well. I will say though, if you're using this mic and then you're using it on OBS or something, and then you're toying with the audio latency on here, don't also toy with it in OBS. You're going to get yourself so screwed up. Pick one place and do it just from there. Automatic gain control, an obvious good tool for any microphone. It just means that you're not going to have to ride the gain. If you talk a little quiet, it's going to bring it up. If you talk a little loud, it's going to bring it down. Nothing revolutionary there, but always a good tool to have. Now here's kind of your color adjustments. So if you need to adjust something, you just see that something's just slightly off, you can do that from here. So you're actually going to pick a spot. So you can see you can start making color adjustments. I changed it to my face, but you can see now that those colors, as I click around, actually start to change without impacting the rest of the picture. And I find that really cool. So if I just want a little bit more color in my face because I've, say I've got a cold or something like that, I can actually utilize this to create a little bit more. So you can see it is going to correct anywhere where that color is also present. So you can see that the chair is changing in the back, but it's not changing so drastically that it would throw you off. If you go into the professional, it's going to tell you it's going to reset the data that you've done, so you can't go back to the other one. But then you have really, really complex stuff here. I don't really know exactly how this works. I'm not going to mess around with it too much. But to give you an example, if I start to, again, I want to do a picture somewhere, and then I start to drag around, you will see some data change, but you got to really start playing with this. And I honestly don't know how it works well enough to mess around with it sufficiently. So we're just going to leave all that alone for now. So if we want to do a worst case scenario of the color correction, let's go back into it for a second. Let's wait for it to come up. I'm going to do a real overcorrection here on my face, and we're going to bring it out quite a bit like this. Now when I go back, you can see what it's done. So I've gotten really jaundiced, but you can see how nothing else is impacted. Like this is all good. Even my hands are overall good. You can see it's correcting a little bit there, but yeah, it looks like I went through a bad spray tanner, and that is the kind of thing that can happen in there if you're not careful. So I'm just going to go back in there and undo all of that. Then I'm going to go back, and now I look more reasonable again. And then lastly, we're going to go into our scenes. Now the scene, this is where all of your presets are going to be set. So let's go ahead and actually make some presets right now so you can see what I mean in terms of just how we set things up. So if we're going to set one that is a little bit more, you know, right now there's not a lot of sun coming in or things like that, so we don't have anything to compensate for. This is going to be our first original scene. The next one, let's go ahead and say that we're going to need to compensate for the sun. I can't do that right now, but let's just like, for example, I'm just going to add a little bit of this. This is what we were talking about. How much are you going to compensate for? Well, depending on how much blue light is coming in your window, you might need to make some changes. So you can do that, go back up and hit save scene. You're going to give it a name and you're going to say sunny and confirm. And then when you go back into your scenes, you're going to have two options. So you go back to your standard. So that's what this is. And then all that blue light comes in. And here's your sunny. So then you can do it all in one go very quickly. You're probably not going to need to do this for most situations, especially if you don't have windows and things like that and you have kind of a controlled environment. You'll set it up the once and then you'll be good. But if you are somebody who has like different stylistic things that they do for different streams, or if they do something maybe different for YouTube videos than they do for streams, things like that, that's when you're going to get into this and then create your different scenes. And as we come back to the full screen on actual OBS, everything's looking fine. Picture is good. I am still having that little jitter issue. Now I'm gonna actually have to see, because we clearly weren't seeing this when we used it in Yololiv Compose. Okay, Editor Joe here again. This one I actually did see a little bit of like glitchiness and whatever, but again, I'm just reiterating, it's just whatever's happening with OBS right now. Might just be my software, might need an update, it's doing something weird. This one, perfectly good. Maybe it's time to switch to Meld. That's the video I'm actually working on right now, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, don't worry about what you're seeing there. Just focus on the picture quality itself and know that everything else is cool. All right. But what do you think about the YoloCam S3? Let me know down in the comments, and let me know if there's any other webcams that you want to see this put up against. I'm really interested in getting a bunch of webcams together and having a big competition and kind of like declare the best of the best. And this one definitely should be amongst those, especially if we can get over these little hiccups that I'm having right now with OBS. But again, I'm thinking it's an OBS problem, not the camera, because we've seen it work elsewhere. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like and subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when I have new videos coming out, all that good stuff. Go check out my other channel, Miscast Members. If you're into travel, Disney, those kind of things, that's what I'm doing, and I use a lot of the gear that we test on this channel out there, so you'll see a lot of that in use. But that is going to do it for this one, and until next time, my friends, let's get to work.